I always hear students complain that our high school classes don't actually prepare us for the future, that they're a waste of time, yet they pass by the speech and debate room and don't even think about how much speech is utilized every day after they graduate high school. Speech and debate isn't just a place where so-called know-it-alls come and argue. I believe there's so much more that people don't even see. And as an aspiring documentary filmmaker, I decided to really uncover what speech and debate is truly about. So I packed up my gear and headed out to tournaments hours away. And right now, I think it's time to speak up.
Speech and debate it's a community where a lot of ideas and people come together to share what's going on in the world and their take on it.
There are two parts to the activity. There's the speech part and the debate part. Speech is more about presenting your ideas and about how you interpret literature.
And debate is more of like a formal way of arguing two topics and with a side that wants that topic to go through or wants it to not go through or put an end to it.
Any type of critical literature that's like going on in our country right now. Like these conversations that we have as debaters are general conversations that like politicians are having. These are conversations that like the world is having.
Debate is topic-based, where you don't get a choice. And debate not only becomes like sort of an activity, it becomes interactive with the people that you debate with.
You really want to connect with what you're talking about. Interpret those emotions to where the judges can really see that you're connecting and
taking twists and nuances on like conventional material and doing them in a critical way that makes people think is actually something that's like super interesting to me. And all of that can be found in debate.
We have like 12 more paragraphs to read and we have to take notes on like every 2 sentences. We just need a bunch of time.
Don't have any time. You want to hang out this weekend?
Actually I can't. I have a debate tournament.
Oh, so you're one of those debate kids.
One of what debate kids?
You know, the ones who are going to tournaments every weekend because debate is life and they argue with you about everything.
I mean, that's not like really true because debate has other components. Like I don't even do the argument part of debate.
It is true because like every single time I try to tell you something, you're always like, oh my gosh, I'm right and I know I'm right because I'm a debate.
Misconceptions about me being in debate. I've been told that anytime I stand up for something that I believe in, that I'm only voicing my opinion because I'm in debate and I have to argue with everything, which in reality doesn't even really correlate because I don't necessarily do the whole argumentation part of debate, which is always really frustrating.
One, that if you argue with your parents, you're going to be a good debater. Completely wrong. A lot of arguers with parents, they don't do their research. Maybe they'd be okay at debating, but as long as you don't do your research, that's a lot of where the misconception is.
So because I do interp, I don't do the argument part of debate. I act, which is what essentially I do in theater too. And so a really big misconception that people have about me being in debate is they think that I'm really good at arguing and that I can convince people of anything, when in reality, I just act out a book.
Everything that we do in debate is going to help people in the future. There's not a single paper that I wrote in college that wasn't just basically a debate case in disguise. All of the research that we do it's high-level research. Like, we're not quoting like BuzzFeed articles, we're not talking about the Huffington Post, we're talking about like actual scholarly work that people are like putting out there in their fields of study.
Hey Johnny.
Hey Victoria.
Are you going to the debate tournament this weekend?
Yeah, I actually am. And you know, I'm just looking forward to compete this week.
There's gonna be like 10 schools there this time, I think.
I heard something about that too, and you know, I'm looking forward to meet all those new people.
Yeah, I think that's one of my favorite parts.
I would say the debate like increases my speaking skills, like first and foremost. Like I was the most extra super uber shy person ever. And like I think that debate has like gotten me to burst out of that like shy, I can't speak skill.
When I was in middle school, I mean I joined theater, I didn't know what I was doing, it was just a class, but I was introduced to enter for debate, and it's my sport and it's my passion.
Being in debate has really impacted my life because I've got a lot closer with all the people in my team, and you really grow as a family and you grow as an actor, kind of. And it's just a really fun experience, and you learn a lot about everybody and like what the whole game is about.
Well, I want to be a defense lawyer when I grow up, so I feel like debate is going to give me a better voice, a stronger voice, and just help me speak for those who don't get spoken up for.
I definitely share my opinions more with people. Like before I joined debate, I wouldn't talk like ever. Like I would be one of those people who just sat there and you didn't even know what their voice sounded like.
I think that I've really become a lot more confident to speak in front of people. I think that I've been taught to like think about the world in different ways now through debate. Just look at all kinds of different perspectives.
I like to talk to people because I argue a lot with people, so being in debate, I'm able to like kind of be myself and be around more people that are like me.
Started by awarding individual events. So, with the original oratory on stage and dramatic imperf in the wings.
Placing third for Plano Senior High School, Elizabeth Smith. Placing second for Plano Senior High School, Sarah Chen. And placing first for Royse City High School, Melanie Rivera.
I wasn't really doing anything during my sophomore year of high school. We had to give these speeches. I remember giving the speech, and afterwards she was like, you should definitely do debate. For me, that was a really, I guess it was a really big moment in my life because I never had anyone really tell me I would be good at something. It was just something that I wanted to like give back.
Ever since I was little, I've wanted to be a teacher, and not even as much debate in general, but specifically my coach, Mr. Stewart, he's given me a lot of confidence that I can be a teacher and that I will be good at it regardless of what other people think that I should be in.
My favorite part about being in debate is, of course, my teammates going to tournaments every week with people that you really start to grow, intimately closer with emotionally. Becomes like probably my favorite part of the activity.
It's helped me with understanding that it's okay to not have the same opinions as anyone else, or it's okay to voice opinions that may not be as popular or may not be very liked. It's kind of taught me to just don't worry about what anyone else thinks about your voice, but be your voice without worrying about what other people are going to say.
Yeah, like whenever the other team all of a sudden they brought up their anarchy case.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't understand that because they were talking about imperialism 20 seconds ago.
How do you guys do that every weekend?
Do it? Go to tournaments? Well, I mean, it's a lot of fun for us. Like, we do a lot of work for it, but...
Wait. How could it be a lot of work? I mean, it's just a bunch of nerds debating topics.
Okay, a few things. First, we're not all nerds. There's a lot of cool people in debate. Second of all, and this will be my example section, have you heard of Oprah? She was a debater. She's pretty cool.
Well, based on your answer, I'm gonna say you're wrong.
I think it's pretty safe to say that what these students do is just absolutely amazing. They spend almost every weekend at these tournaments in hopes to win enough to qualify for the Texas Forensics Association state competition that's held in the spring. Getting to travel and experience what this organization is like for just a semester has been absolutely unforgettable. And even though I almost broke a camera, it was worth it. Oh, and next time you pass a debate kid, remember to think twice, because those guys are not afraid to speak up.